Dear learners, welcome you all to e-learning platform. We have reached week 8. In this week, you will learn major themes, motifs and symbols in Silas Marner, written by George Eliot. Me, Faisal Ahmed, with you as usual throughout these lectures. Let's begin. Major themes. In Silas Marner, Eliot combines symbolism with a historically precise setting to create a tale of love and hope. On one level, the book has a strong moral tract. The bad character, Dunstan Carr, gets his just deserts, while the pitiable character Silas Marner is ultimately richly rewarded, and his miserliness corrected. The novel explores the issues of redemptive love, the notion of community, the role of religion, the status of the gentry and family, and impacts of industrialization. While religion and religious devotion play a strong part in this text, Eliot concerns herself with matters of ethics and interdependence of faith and community. Themes are the fundamental and often universal ideas explored in a literary work, the individual versus the community. Silas Marner is, in one sense, the story of the title character, but it is also very much about the community of Ravello in which he lives. Much of the novel's dramatic force is generated by the tension between Silas and the society of Ravello. Silas, who goes from being a member of a tight-knit community to utterly alone and then back again, is a perfect vehicle for Eliot to explore the relationship between the individual and the surrounding community. Character as destiny. The plot of Silas Marner seems mechanistic at times, as Eliot takes care to give each character his or her just deserts. Dunsey dies, the squire's lands are divided, Godfrey wins Nancy but ends up childless, and Silas lives happily ever after with Eppie as the most admired man in Ravello. The tidiness of the novel's resolution may or may not be entirely believable, but it is a central part of Eliot's goal to present the universe as morally ordered. Fate, in the sense of a higher power rewarding and punishing each character's actions, is a central theme of the novel. For Eliot, who we determines not only what we do but also what is done to us. Independence of faith and community. In one sense, Silas Marner can be seen simply as the story of Silas's loss and regaining of his faith. But one could just as easily describe the novel as the story of Silas's rejection and subsequent embrace of his community. In the novel, these notions of faith and community are closely linked. They are both human necessities, and they both feed off of each other. The community of Lanternere is united by religious faith, and Ravello is likewise introduced as a place in which people shared the same set of superstitious beliefs. In the typical English village, the church functioned as the predominant social organization. Thus, when Silas loses his faith, he is isolated from any sort of larger community. Motifs are recurring structures, contrasts, or literary devices that can help to develop and inform the text's major themes. The natural world, the first motif. Throughout the novel, Eliot draws on the natural world for many images and metaphors. Silas, in particular, is often compared to plants or animals, and these images are used to trace his progression from isolated loner to well-loved father figure. As he sits alone waving near the start of the novel, Silas is likened to a spider, solitary and slightly ominous. Just after he is robbed, Silas is compared to an ant that finds his usual path blocked, an image of limitation and confusion, but also of searching for a solution. Later, as Silas begins to reach out to the rest of the village, his soul is likened to a plant, not yet budding, but with its sap beginning to circulate. Finally, as he raises EP, Silas is described as unfolding and trembling into full consciousness, imagery evoking both the metamorphosis of an insect and the blooming of a flower. This nature imagery also emphasizes the pre-industrial setting of the novel, reminding us of a time in England when the natural world was a bigger space to explore. Third motif, domesticity. For the most part, the events of Silas Marner take place in two homes, Silas's cottage and the Cass household. The novel's two key events are intrusions into Silas' domestic space, first by Dancy and then by EP. Eliot uses the home as a marker of the state of its owners. When Silas is isolated and without faith, his cottage is bleak and closed off from the outside world. As Silas opens himself up to the community, we see that his door is more frequently open and he has a steady stream of visitors. Finally, as Silas and EP become a family, the cottage is brightened and filled with new life, both figuratively and in the form of literal improvements and refurbishments to the house and yard. Likewise, the Cass household moves from slovenly and wifeless under the squires. Fourth motif, class. Ravelot, like most of 19th century English society, is organized along strict lines of social class. This social hierarchy is encoded in many ways. The forms characters used to address one another, their habits, even where they sit at social events. While the castes are not nobility, as landowners they sit atop Ravelot's social pecking order. While Silas, an outsider, is at its base, nonetheless Silas proves himself to be the better man than his social superiors. Similarly, in EP's view, the simple life of the working class is preferable to that of the landed class. Eliot is skilled in showing how class influences the thinking of her characters. From Dancy's idea to Silas as simply a source of easy money to Godfrey, and Nancy's idea that as higher class landowners their claim to EP. Symbol, Silas' loom, with which he weaves the cloths. Silas's loom embodies many of the novel's major themes. On a literal level, the loom is Silas's livelihood and source of income. The extent to which Silas's obsession with money deforms his character is physically embodied by the bent frame and limited eyesight he develops due to so many hours of the loom. The loom also foreshadows the coming of industrialization. The loom is a machine in a time and place when most labor was non-mechanical, related to farming and animal husbandry. Additionally, the loom, constantly in motion but never going anywhere, embodies the unceasing but unchanging nature of Silas's work and life. Finally, the process of weaving functions as a metaphor for the creation of a community with its many interwoven threads and presages the way in which Silas will bring together the life of Ravello. Lantern Yard, the place where Silas was raised in a tight-knit religious sect. Lantern Yard is a community of faith held together by a narrow religious belief that Eliot suggests is based more on superstition than any sort of rational thought. Lantern Yard is the only community Silas knows, and after he is excommunicated, he is unable to find any similar community in Ravello. Throughout the novel, Lantern Yard functions as a symbol of Silas's past. And his gradual coming to grips with what happened there signals his spiritual thaw. When Silas finally goes back to visit Lantern Yard, he finds that the entire neighborhood has disappeared and no one remembers anything of it. A large factory stands in the spot where the chapel once stood. This disappearance demonstrates the disruptive power of industrialization, which destroys tradition and erases memory. Likewise, this break with the post signals that Silas has finally been able to move beyond his own will. The hearth. The hearth represents the physical center of the household and symbolizes all of the comforts of home and family. When Godfrey dreams of a life with Nancy, he sees himself with all his happiness centered on his own hearth, while Nancy would smile on him as he played with the children. Even in a public place such as the Rainbow, one's importance is measured by how close one sits to the fire. Initially, Silas shares his hearth with no one, at least not intentionally. However, the two intruders who forever change Silas's life, first Dancy and then EP, are drawn out of inclement weather by the inviting light of Silas's fire. Silas's cottage can never be entirely separate from the outside world, and the light of Silas's fire attracts both misfortune and redemption. In the end, it is Silas's heart that brings peace and happiness. Conclusion. Silas Marner is the weaver in the English countryside village of Ravello in the early 19th century. Like many weavers of his time, he is an outsider, the object of suspicion because of his special skills and the fact that he has come to Ravello from elsewhere. The villagers see Silas as especially odd because of the curious cataleptic fits he occasionally suffers. Silas has ended up in Ravello because the members of his religious sect in Lantern Yard, an insular neighborhood in a larger town, falsely accused him of theft. The resources. Thank you all for being with me. Talk to you more in the next week with new topic. And that will be Tales of the D'Urbervilles, written by Thomas Hardy. Thank you and bye-bye.